I've always been an entrepreneur, so I've never been like the actor that's waiting for a job. I always have 15,000 other things going on. My life is about yes, right? I live in yes. Like I wouldn't be in this business if I believe in no. Like no is, what is that?
Before we get to all of the stuff you do, we have to talk about Cool Runnings.
Yes.
Which, does that make you annoyed that people want to talk about Cool Runnings? Because it's just an iconic film.
I feel like I'm part of Miracle on 34th Street. That's like
do people
Bambi.
still come up and talk to you about it?
Listen, not only do people talk about it, like entire families, like that is their family movie. I've met families like...
My kids love it.
This is what I'm saying. It's extraordinary to be part of something like that, that's an evergreen, that airs all the time, and I'm very proud of that.
Do you still get any money from Cool Runnings?
Why you ask about my money, girl?
This is a money show.
What?
I think people are fascinated,
right.
Even if it's like an ad somebody shot 20 years ago, or somebody wrote a song, and they want to know, like, do you see any checks? Is it like a penny
Well, speaking of
that
writing
comes?
songs, I wrote the theme song for Cool Runnings. So
You did?
I still get paid from enough people to say, no, I can't believe Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. I wrote that. So yes, I still get residuals from that. You get residuals in perpetuity for stuff you do.
But that brings up like the unpredictable nature for an actor of their income stream.
For me, a guiding principle is build your own generator so when they turn off the power, you still have lights. So my father drilled that into our heads as kids growing up. And so I had a paper out at 8 years old. So I was always hustling. Then I used to make leather bags. I had a icy stand.
You had an icy
Larry's
stand?
Fresh Fruit Ices. I sold lemon, Frozaid. I worked at Cafe Luxembourg. I was a busboy. When I worked at Luxembourg, I said I want to own a restaurant. By 29, I had a restaurant in New York City for 9 years called Soul Cafe. But I write, I do direct, I do produce. I've been a serial entrepreneur. I had a marketing company, I had a record company for a short period of time. I got 3 hours of sleep last night and I'm here. I'm never not working. I mean, I'm always working on something. I mean, I love the fact that you have all this real estate here because that's a passion of mine.
Yeah, let's talk about real estate. Like,
Yeah.
why did you want to make that part of your portfolio? Because I think a lot of people think about real estate and it's just their home.
Well, that was the starter kit. Like, I made some money, some real money, on my first real estate transaction. And I knew that I wanted to build. I used to walk in Harlem, in the burnt out Harlem of the 80s. And I'd look at brownstones that were dilapidated or apartment buildings, thinking whoever designed this and built this did not want it to look like this. I used to visualize one day being able to contribute and build in Harlem. I had this idea to create content around the journey of my journey as a developer and give young people access to that process, both in real estate development and filmmaking. And we put together a program called I Build New York.
And that's about giving back, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, because look at this. We can't point to any area here and say people of color own it. No part of this, can we say, was developed, designed, built, financed by people that look like me. And that's an American tragedy.
For people of color, what do you think is harder to break into? Real estate or Hollywood?
I think it's hard for anyone to get into real estate or Hollywood. I don't care what you look like. For the people that go, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it because I'm a woman, I can't do it because I'm gay, I can't do it because I'm trans, I can't do it. Well, you're right. If you tell yourself you can't, you're right. But if you're bold with it and say, I can, I don't care what the rest of the world says, I know what my God tells me, I know what I have to do. I know I'm purposed to do something amazing, and you're committed to it, and you show up, and you follow up, and you're consistent, things manifest every single time.
We're looking down here at Wall Street.
Yes.
What about the stock market? Do you do
I
anything
still have some
in
money in the stock market. I do.
Has that been an interest to you, or you like the tangible
Yeah,
assets?
I do not play as hard as I used to, because after 2008, I definitely took some losses, and I was like, I'm cool. I'm going to get more active again, but I'm not as active as I used to be.
I think you have enough stuff going on.
There's a few things, yeah, there's a few things going on.
Just talking about, money and business, Did you learn more about money from your father or your mother?
No, my father, for sure. My father was a simple man in that, you know, like I said, build your own generator, so when they turn off the power, you have lights, and he drilled that into us. And he did that. Although he was an X-ray technician, he was really a frustrated musician. He was a practical guy that, you know, got a vocation, became an X-ray tech. But he also sold clothing on the side.
So did you get your work ethic from him?
Without question. I never was a kid in the street. I grew up in Harlem in the Bronx. But I was never that kid that thought I needed to go and sell drugs or do anything illegal because number one, my father would have killed us. Number two, it just never made sense to me. Like the whole killing the community, it was definitely a part of it, but also, why? Like you have to work hard anyway, so you might as well do something legal.
It brings me to this anecdote that you have. You went to go visit somebody's apartment when you were growing up. It was a friend's grandfather, I think, this very palatial apartment in New York City. And
Danny
there was
Gross.
Danny Gross, I guess, this grand piano, the white carpet, and you go, and I could see being annoyed at, like, gosh, this is amazing, they have this. And instead,
I was like, that's where I'm going.
you thought that thanks for giving me the peek.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my mind, I always felt that the only reason I'm being exposed to this is because this is where my life is going. I always just thought, like, that's where I'm going. And I also knew that not everybody who was where I was from in Harlem had that exposure.
This is our little speed round, just fun questions, all right? So first thing, are you a saver or a spender?
Both.
Impulse buyer or agonizer?
I can be both.
Are you a cash or credit person?
As much cash as possible. I don't want to live and run up a whole bunch of credit.
If you could design a new $1 bill, who would you like to put on it?
Frederick Douglass.
I like that. Keep the penny or get rid of it.
Get rid of it, I guess. Right?
What was your absolute worst job?
Working in a sweatshop for one day. So when
Where
I
was said sweatshop?
in Flatiron,
And what were you making?
costume jewelry. I never went back and I think they only paid me like $2 an hour.
Bad job. Okay, what was your best job ever?
My career as an actor has been amazing. I've traveled all over the world. I'm very, very grateful to do this work.
What's the biggest money mistake you've ever made?
Investing in the first .com boom crash, 99. I remember stroking a check for an investment and getting taken advantage of.
But it was .com stuff.
It was
.com
.com
bubble
stuff.
You're the first pro-cash person we've really had on, so I'm interested for
Cash
the
in my
answer.
pocket.
That's my question. How
I'm
much
used-
cash do you have on you today, do you think? Let's see. It's so funny, most people don't carry cash anymore.
I know, I just went and got like $500 in cash a couple days ago. I think it's a throwback to my paper route days. And I think it's a throwback to those Harlem hustlers that always had cash in their pocket. It's just something about the cash, but I don't always have it in my pocket.
It's good you had it for my question.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing someone taught you about money?
To save and to budget. It's amazing how many people don't budget. Like, you just talk to your friends. You're like, nah, just like you wing it. So advice I got very early on was don't do too much, don't do too little. Do what you need to do to stay in the middle. And so never live above your means.